Kind of a bittersweet moment for us Packer fans that we were eagerly awaiting that 53-man roster, but the Packers having to say goodbye to what became a few of my favorite players this preseason. For the break that down, quite frankly, some of them will be starters on other teams. So I've been saying it all along. The Packers have great depth, especially at the wide receiver spot. You can't hang on to everybody. So the Packers, again, having to say goodbye to some players that looked super good this offseason. But there is even bigger shocking news coming out of Green Bay, and that is the Packers are going to do this season without A.J. Dillon. He's out for the rest of the season due to a neck injury. But if I'm being honest with you, and I've been saying it in a few videos, I didn't think if A.J. Dillon were healthy, I didn't know if he was going to make the 53-man roster. If you were to stack up a healthy Marshawn Lloyd and say he was running at full tilt, Emmanuel Wilson just looked way better than A.J. Dillon did in the first preseason game. But shocking news nonetheless that the Packers are going to have to do this season without A.J. Dillon, which means the running back depth for the Packers is pretty thin. We're going to take a look at that here in a moment, but let's take a look at the cuts that the Packers had to let go of. We went over some cuts earlier, some of them bigger names being Anders Carlson, and if you talk about Anders Carlson and Royce Newman for the Packers, I know a lot of Packer fans out there have been longing to say goodbye to two of those guys. Anders Carlson, Royce Newman are cut from this Packer squad. Kind of a shock. Michael Pratt and Sean Clifford both cut as well. Obviously, the Packers making the trade didn't come as a surprise that Malik Willis was going to get that number 2 spot in Green Bay. But I'm kind of shocked that the Packers didn't hang on to a third quarterback just to break him in. However, not surprised because you can't hang on to everybody. But the Packers, again, Michael Pratt, Sean Clifford gone. Here's the shock to me, okay? You got Samori Toure gone. He is capable to make a starting squad somewhere. He is good. Grant DeBose, another good wide receiver. The Packers, of course, are going to sign him to the practice squad. Hopefully he stays there and can be utilized at some point in the season because we know that there are going to be injuries. Other players that the Packers had to say goodbye to are Donovan Jennings. This is a guy that I thought was going to have an impact on this offensive line. Again, you can't keep everybody. He's going to make the practice squad. I feel strongly about that. Anthony Johnson Jr. comes as a shock to me. When you take a look at Zane Anderson stacked up to Anthony Johnson Jr., I really thought Anthony Johnson Jr. had a better preseason than Zane Anderson. Zane Anderson is good, but I would have given the nod to Anthony Johnson Jr., but I'm not on the coaching staff, so I don't see everything out there. I'm only see what I can see out on the football field during preseason games. One of my favorite players that the Packers went after in the draft, Kalen King, he is cut. That comes as a shock to me. Kalen King, I thought, did well this preseason. I think he's got great instincts out there. He's got an act for the ball. Again, shocked to see that. Of course, he's going to be signed to the practice squad. Whether he stays there or not, to be determined. Obviously, Royce Newman, as we had talked about, he is gone. You got Benny Sapp the third gone. You've got Luke Tenuta gone. Samori Toure that we talked about. Welch, a linebacker that I thought did so well this preseason. He is cut. So let's take a look at the latest roster coming at the 53-man. Okay, so you've got Christian Watson, Dontavian Wicks, Romeo Dobbs, Malik Heath, Jaden Reed, Bo Melton. Big shout out to Malik Heath. He looked super good. He earned that spot on the 53-man roster. Bo Melton, we know he's got the stuff. We know we saw it this last preseason game. We know what he's capable of doing. We saw it last season as well. Rasheed Walker is going to be the starting left tackle. You got Andre Dillard Andre Dillard backing him up. You got Elton Jenkins, left guard, Josh Myers, Jacob Monk. Jacob Monk is going to be floating between center and guard. So he's going to be floating out there. You've got Jordan Morgan, Sean Ryan. Who's going to get the starting nod? Time will tell. It's probably going to be Sean Ryan to start the season, whether or not Jordan Morgan slides in there or not. But the Packers looking for that swing tackle. Kind of a shock because Jordan Morgan was drafted because of that. But he seems to be only situated at guard currently. So Zach Tom, Kadeem Tolford. Kadeem Tolford, I thought, did very poor versus the Cleveland Browns, but I'm super excited to see him on there because he showed a lot of quickness the last two preseason games. I'm super excited about that. And the Packers hanging on to Travis Glover. Luke Musgrave, Tucker Kraft, Ben Sims, no shock there. Jaden Reed, Bo Melton. We already talked about that. Jordan Love, and then you've got Willis, Josh Jacobs, Marshawn Lloyd, Emmanuel Wilson are the three running backs in Green Bay. You've got Preston Smith, Lucas Van Ness, Brenton Cox, Aaron Mosby. Super excited. Brenton Cox and Aaron Mosby. I see the potential in both of those guys. I think they have the potential to be monsters. Kenny Clark, Devontae Wyatt. Kobe Wooden is kind of a surprise to me because I thought Kobe Wooden did not look good this preseason. He looked okay at times, but overall, I think Kobe Wooden, I don't think he earned a spot on this 53-man roster. Yes, the potential is there. Carl Brooks, much better. TJ Slayton, you've got him. You've got Rashawn Gary, Kingsley Egnick-Barry. You've got Isaiah McDuffie, Tyron Hopper. Tyron Hopper, I think I'm excited about what that dude can do because he just looks like he's getting better and better as he gets the PT. Of course, most players do, but some just excel a little bit quicker. Quay Walker, Eric Wilson, Adrian Cooper. Excited to see what Adrian Cooper can do out there. You've got Jair Alexander, Keyshawn Nixon, Corey Ballantyne, Carrington Valentine, and Eric Stokes. So the Packers keeping 5 cornerbacks out there. You've got Xavier McKinney, Zane Anderson, Oladapo. Excited to see that too, because I think Oladapo is going to be quite the player for the Packers. Again, he's just going to need that time and that playing time. Javon Bullard, Evan Williams, a dude that I'm super excited about as well. But obviously, you all have heard the news. Greg Joseph is going to be the starting kicker in Green Bay. So I'm excited about that because we get to say goodbye to Anders Carlson. But leave your comments. I'm curious. What do you guys think is the most shocking cut for the Packers? Again, we're talking about could be multiple starters on other teams. Grant DeBose, Samori Toure, Anthony Johnson Jr. I think he is good enough to be a starter on another team. So leave your comments. But as always, go Pack, go.